Hey there, moon manifestors. I hope that you're having an amazing week. So today on the Moon Manifesting podcast, I'm speaking to you if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, a soulpreneur, a mumpreneur, whatever type of preneur that you might be. And if you have had a launch and you're like really excited about this offering that you've created, this whether it's like a program, a book, a retreat, an online course, one-on-one sessions, whatever it might be, you've had this launch and then it's just crickets. What do you do to kind of turn that launch around? How to create a successful launch? I hope that, this episode is going to be so helpful for you if you've been in this situation, or maybe you are currently in this situation and you're waiting for those sales to trickle in. So it's kind of like a checklist I've kind of created for you. But anyways, so here's the situation. You've launched, right? And you might have like a certain time that the cart is open, or maybe, it's an evergreen product and it's something that's, available to purchase year round. And you may have set yourself like a goal, like, oh yes, I'm going to get 10 people signed up for this, or I'm going to make, a certain amount of money from this launch. And you get really excited about it. You believe so much that your offering has the potential to change people's lives. It has so much value. Like, it's something that's really incredible. And you've spent so much time and energy on this thing. And so then you've launched it out to the world. And while you're waiting for the sales to trickle in, here is what to do to have that successful launch. So I guess my first tip, because I am a business astrologer, is to check out the astrological timing of your launch. So this is something that I love to do with my clients. I love to look at their charts and to help them pick out the times that are going to be best for them to launch their products and services. So there are like collective times, like times that, where the planetary positions are affecting us all. So Mercury retrograde is generally not a good time to be launching things, and looking at like the moon cycle as well. There are better times to be launching throughout the moon cycle depending on what you're offering. The full moon is usually a good time, to be honest. It's very high vibe energy. It's a good time for launching. But what I love doing with my clients is looking at their actual natal chart and seeing how the planets are lining up to their natal planets and how that could be affecting their launches. So looking for lucky days and things like that, like some really positive energy that can really help fuel that launch. So tip number 1, check out the astrological timing. At the very least, just try not to launch anything during Mercury retrograde. But at the same time, it's probably not a huge big deal if you do it during Mercury retrograde. Don't let that hold you back either. Okay. So my second tip is, do you have a sales page? If the answer is no, then go create a sales page. If the answer is yes, let's look at those elements that are on your sales page. So I have created, I cannot tell you how many sales pages I've created over the years, probably hundreds. And I just love making them. They're like a work of art. Like every time I make a sales page, it's like, oh my God, this is so pretty. I really like making sales pages, and I've done so much like analyzing about the parts that work, the parts that look good, the parts that don't really need to be there, that sort of thing. So there's a few different elements that I consider to be quite essential for a successful sales page, especially if it's kind of like a high ticket offer where you're asking people to invest quite a bit of their time or their money or their energy into something. Like, you've really got to work on having a sales page that's really going to make it easy for them to say yes to your offering. So some things on the sales pages: make sure you're having photos on there, high quality photos of yourself. Like if you're facilitating a program or a retreat or something, or you're a big part of this, then having photos of yourself. If it's more of like a product or a service or something, having those other sort of photos as well to showcase exactly what it is that you're selling. And like having lots of different photos, because people, when they're looking at a sales page, you're going to want to work with both the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. So having like the logical written information, the facts and the figures all there for them, but also having that visual stimulation. So having photos, maybe having diagrams or symbols, or making sure that the color and the fonts and everything that you're using is in alignment with what it is that you're offering. Paying attention to those small details can really make a big difference. So looking at, the visuals on your sales page is one thing to look at, and the photos of yourself, of your offering. Testimonials. Now, if this is a new product or service that you're offering that you don't have a testimonial for it, you can get testimonials from like other services or offerings that speak to like you as a business owner, or you as a creator, so some testimonials for like you as a person sort of thing. But testimonials are really helpful, and bonus points if you can get like a video testimonial, because that really speaks louder than just words written on a page. But yeah, a photo of the person who wrote the testimonial plus their words, that can be a really powerful start. So make sure that you do have some form of testimonial on your website, because testimonials do sell on your sales page. Okay, other elements on your sales page, making sure that you've got pricing really clear and multiple times throughout your sales page, and have it like in big writing as well. Like sometimes I'm scrolling through a sales page and it's like, but how much does it cost? And you might find like, the fine print, like right down the bottom of the page, like, this is how much it costs. So being really clear and upfront with how much it costs. Don't feel like you're going to scare people away by how much it costs. Be confident in your pricing. Put it there like loud and clear multiple times on your sales page. Other elements on sales pages, having like the clear features and benefits of your offering. So the features, those are going to be like the tangible aspects of your offering. So for example, it could be like, you receive these physical things, or you might receive so many group calls or individual sessions or whatever it is. Whereas the benefits explain the value of what you're offering. So if you're offering like a retreat, for example, then some of the benefits might be, relax and recharge your energy, connect with other like-minded people. You listing out like the value that people are going to get from buying your offering. So yeah, I think I've spoken enough about elements of a sales page. That could have probably been a whole podcast episode. I still have heaps to talk about. So I'm going to move on to my next point about ways to have a successful launch. My next point, or number 3, is have an easy way to pay. If you make it really difficult for people to pay you, it's going to turn people off from like actually, clicking through and buying something. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a website, like even if it's just like trying to buy something that's really small or something, and I've had difficulty navigating their checkout system, or, whatever it's happened, it has really, turned me off from buying it. So if you have that really easy way for people to give you money, it's going to be one step closer to getting that sale. So I recently was working with a client, and she wanted to, create an easy way for people to pay, and she wanted to have a payment plan as well. And we went through all these options, and in the end, I was like, this is the easiest way. We're just going to create this PayPal link, and that's it. Like, rather than trying to muck around with all these different plugins on WordPress and all this sort of thing, we just made it so simple. So make it really easy for people to pay you. It's really, it can be such a block. Like, you may not think it's a block, but it can really block people from taking that next step if you don't just have like a button, like, click here to pay now. Okay, so next thing to do, like, okay, so you've launched and you're waiting for people to buy your thing. Something that can be really effective is telling people about it. So, and I don't just mean like, posting on social media about it or, whatever it might be. I mean like actually messaging someone who, might be interested in your offer. Maybe you've talked to them before about things that you'd offered and it wasn't the right timing. Or, maybe it's a friend and you think, oh, they might be interested in it. So tell people about it. And the thing is, like, even if you do tell people and they're not interested, they may tell someone else who's interested. So it cannot hurt by telling people about your offering. And I've got a friend, and the only time I've bought things from her, and I've like spent probably almost $1,000 on different things from her, she has always just messaged me on Messenger and be like, hey, Kyra, I'm running this course. She'll like list out like the features and benefits sort of thing. And, easy way to pay. Here's my bank account details. And I've always kind of been like, yes, I would love to do this. Thank you so much for reaching out and letting me know. And, I've signed up. So don't be afraid to actually, send a message to someone who you think would be a good fit for whatever it is that you're offering. Don't be afraid. Just, message them. And if they say no, then, don't take it too personally. Maybe the timing just isn't right or whatever, but it can't hurt to tell people. So, telling people in one-on-one messages or catching up with a friend for coffee and telling them over coffee or whatever it might be, that can be really effective. Something else that can be effective for reaching a lot of people is by sharing it on social media. I always use social media as one of my marketing tools whenever I'm launching something new. And the thing that I find that a lot of business owners fall into the trap of when launching something and sharing it on social media is that they might talk about it once or, not very often. And, not many people know about this offering. So social media is quite a busy place these days. I realized that on my business Instagram account, I am following something like over 800 people. And in my feed, I would say I'd see less than 50 accounts in my feed on a regular basis. And even then, sometimes, I don't have that much time or energy to fully read everyone's captions or everything. And so, people miss things. And I've noticed who else is like on Facebook or Instagram and you're just following heaps of different pages and people, right? So it's easy for things to fall through the cracks. Like you think like, oh, I can't talk about this because I talked about that yesterday on social media. But the people who were on social media yesterday, they might not be on today, So don't feel like you can talk about it too much. I have another friend and when she launches something, she will only talk about that one thing on her social media for weeks. And it works for her. It really works for her. She is just smashing it. I see her launches and she just gets so many people signed up and it's like, oh my God, go you. So you cannot talk about it enough. So sharing it on socials, even showing up daily in your stories to talk about this thing, you cannot talk about it too much. If people aren't interested, don't worry. No one's going to message you and be like, stop talking about this thing that you're selling all the time. That's what it's there for. That's what your social media is there for. It is a marketing tool for you to share your offerings. It's for you to sell, right? So don't be afraid to share and, keep talking about your offering on social media heaps. So another marketing method that you can use is your email list. And if you don't have an email list and you've just launched something, I would so recommend that you start an email list. Get people onto your list, maybe create a little opt-in freebie that's a little snippet of your offering, and you can get them onto your list and then send them out a follow-up email saying if you really love this free opt-in offer that I just sent you, then you're going to love this, the full product or the full service. So your list Your email list is a valuable asset. It really is. And it's kind of like a deeper dive than what you're sharing on social media, or at least for me in my business, I find I use my newsletter list that way. I send out a weekly regular email, and if I'm going through a launch, then I'll send out more emails. But yeah, it gives you a chance to kind of go a bit deeper than what you do on social media. I find that people are just too busy scrolling on social media and they're not really stopping to click through or anything. And that also makes it hard because Instagram, you don't really have many places for links. But in your newsletter, like, you can pop in heaps of links. You can put in all the details. You can make the formatting look really pretty and all that sort of thing. So your list can be so valuable for marketing your launch, and really creating that launch into a success. And you can send a series of emails that can warm up people to, buying the thing that you're offering. Like you might have a sequence, an email sequence. So I have a few more points to share with you, but before I do, I'm going to let you know that I have opened up doors for the next round of my Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind. The Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind is a 6-month journey to start or grow your business while understanding your soul's purpose in this lifetime. We're weaving a lot of astrology and energetics into your business, as well as looking at like practical strategies. I share with you exactly how I grew my Instagram following to over 40,000 people, my email list to 3,500 people. It's a really like a transparent journey where I do share like a lot of the things that I have learned from my decade plus of running a business, and I use all this information to help you make more money while doing what you were born to do. So if this is something that you're really needing right now, if you're ready to up level your business and your income, click the link in the show notes below and check out the details. We are starting on the new moon in Libra on the 26th of September, 2022. So yeah, if you're ready to grow your business, I would love to help you. I would love to see you inside the mastermind. Click that link in the show notes. So I've got 2 more points to share with you before I end today's episode. So if you're still with me, thanks so much for sticking around. I'm really hoping that these tips are helpful so far for helping you to have a successful launch, because it can be really disheartening when you do launch something and then there's just crickets and no one's buying. And so, yeah, I really hope that this episode is helping you to overcome like those downs that we kind of get through when our vibe starts to drop, because it's like, oh, no one's buying my thing. So, okay, my next little tip for you is to collaborate. Collaboration is something that I have loved doing. So whether that's collaborating with like other facilitators, like if you're running an online program or retreat or a workshop or whatever it might be, there might be like other people joining you to facilitate that. So asking them to, also share this offering, with their audience can be a really good way to get more people to sign up to buy your offering. The other way that you can collaborate with people is even just reaching out to like-minded businesses, or, people, influencers even, who might like to share your work, and in return, maybe you could share one of theirs, like one of their offerings. I've loved doing this in the past where I would kind of like, do a swap with another business owner, and they'd talk about my offering on their social media or even in their newsletter, and I would do the same for them. And so you're getting that cross-market type of thing happening. So collaboration, don't overlook collaboration. If you're kind of feeling stuck with your launch and you're really not getting anywhere, reach out to other people, whether they're those co-facilitators or just, friends or, other people in business. See if there's some way that you can collaborate to make this launch a success. And then my last thing I wanted to discuss, and this is probably the most important thing, is to keep your vibe high. when we go through a launch, like, you go into it feeling really high vibe because you're really excited to share your offering with the world. But then pretty soon, as the clock ticks on and no one's buying, or you're just not meeting your sales goal, then your vibe can really start to lower. You can start to feel quite depressed. You can really start to feel quite down about it because you've like just poured your heart out into this thing. And it's like, oh, it was all for nothing. No one wants this thing that I've just spent all this time doing. So keeping your vibe high can make such a difference. When we keep our vibe high and we have that faith and the trust that the right people are going to buy the offering at the right time, then it can make such a difference to like the vibe that you're putting out there. And it can stop you going into that place of acting out of like fear and scarcity. And like, yeah, if you're staying in that vibe of like, positivity and abundance, then, what are you going to attract, right? Your vibe attracts, your life. I'm sure there was like something better to say there, but your vibe attracts, the things that you manifest into your reality. There's another word. I can't think of what it is. But anyway, your vibe attracts it all. So if you're feeling really low vibe during a launch, then of course you're not going to be making that many sales. Like, of course no one's going to be buying that stuff because you're not keeping your vibe high. You've kind of lost faith that it's going to happen. And so you're sending out this message to the universe like, I don't even care anymore if anyone buys my stuff. Like, you So keeping your vibe high, right? Okay, let's talk about how to do that. Affirmations. Affirmations are probably one of my biggest tool when I'm going through a launch. I will create this affirmation and it'll be something like really specific. Like I'm going to have, this number of people sign up to this offering by this date. Like I love creating these really specific affirmations. But it could just be, a general affirmation like money comes to me easily and gracefully, or whatever it is. Play around with your wording for your affirmation. But affirmations are a really powerful tool. Like keep saying that affirmation throughout your launch to keep your vibe high. Keep having that faith. It makes such a difference. Keeping your vibe high may also mean things like going out for self-care, catching up with a friend, or doing something that really lights you up. So when I am doing a launch, I really love to schedule time where I'm not stressing about my launch and I'm not like, trying to do all the things. And I can just like, go to my local massage place for a massage, or go to a float room, or, whatever it is it might be that I'm feeling I need in that moment, where I can just kind of detach and, just feel better about my launch. Setting up a prosperity altar, or, surrounding yourself with prosperity crystals like citrine, green aventurine, pyrite, or even like having like an essential oil blend to keep your vibe high and to make you feel like, you're effortlessly attracting abundance into your life. All these tools can be really helpful for keeping your vibe high too. So do what helps you keep your vibe high throughout your launch. Like whatever it is that you need to do so that you can keep your vibe high. So I hope that this episode has been super helpful for you if you have been launching and not getting the results that you've been anticipating. I hope that this list of different ways to have a successful launch has inspired you and helped you to feel more positive about launching. Launching is something that I do cover in the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind. So if that is something that you are needing help with, then definitely check out the Soul Aligned Biz Mastermind starting on the 26th of September 2022. When you join, you're going to be connecting with an amazing group of spiritual entrepreneurs, and you're going to get access to me regularly, where I can help you step by step through creating a soul-aligned business where you can manifest abundance and prosperity into your life by doing the work that you were meant to be doing in this lifetime. So with that being said, I will catch you all on the next episode. Don't forget to check out the show notes below for all the details for the Soul Line Business Mastermind and all the show notes from this episode. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review. I was recently on Apple Podcasts and I saw that there were a few 5-star reviews. Thank you so much, whoever left me a review. I'd love to see more. So if you haven't done that yet, I would so appreciate your review, your likes, subscribes, everything. And I will catch you all in the next episode on the Moon Manifesting podcast. Stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.